I hate this episode. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series where we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 30th episode of Power Rangers Turbo, as well as the 235th episode overall, titled The Robot Ranger. We begin this episode at the youth center where Bulk and Skull walk in dressed as stereotypical tennis players. They walk over and they talk about how they're teaching tennis now, and Stone says they're not. They're just ball boys and filming lessons. They're talking about this to Cassie, Ashley, and Justin, but they end up hitting the tray out of Stone's hands and drinks go all over Ashley. She's immediately pissed, getting up to go get a towel, walking over to the bar. Justin is there studying and he sees that Ashley is a freaking robot, opening up a panel on her arm, and Justin just says, "She's not real. Ashley's a robot." I mean, okay? I feel like this should have been a much bigger deal than anyone's making it out to be. Justin just stares and Ashley smiles back as her arm is now normal. She's going to go get the tennis lesson with Cassie and she invites Justin, who refuses immediately. They leave and TJ shows up and Justin grabs him, telling him they need to go follow Ashley, but he accidentally breaks TJ's radio in the process. They leave anyways. Skull turns on the ball machine, the tennis balls come flying out onto the court, and Justin and TJ are in the bushes. Justin explains how she's a robot, and TJ suggests that her communicator was probably just broken, and that's why he saw wires. Skull fixes the ball machine, and Bulk tells the girls to watch the master, and yeah, of course, Bulk is terrible. Skull then gets ready to launch balls at her, and she immediately hits the first one, and it goes all Benny Hill on us, because Ashley hits like every single ball with ease, some of them smoking from impact. Justin points out that she's never had a tennis lesson before, and TJ says, "Shows she's a natural, she's not a robot." Cassie then says it was great, and we see that Ashley's racket is all bent and destroyed. Skull then goes to go get her a new racket. We then see that Detox is watching things via the periscope in the real life, despite the fact that she's now in space. She wants a monster named Flashhead who shows up. He wraps them in film and then he turns them into film reels. That's it. Just as lame as it sounds. Detox sends down Elgar with Flashhead to collect the reels of film. They appear on the tennis court with the Piranhatrons, and Bulk and Skull run away, and Justin points out that if Ashley is a robot, then she can't morph, but TJ isn't going to wait for them to get killed. TJ, Ashley, and Cassie stand in fighting pose when Flashhead shows up to show them what he can do, accidentally turning a random Piranhatron into a film reel. TJ calls for Carlos, and then they shift into Turbo. Pink, Yellow, and Red are fighting the monster and foot soldiers. Carlos then teleports in by Justin, and Justin explains, "Oh, Ashley can morph," and Carlos pretty much just ignores him like we all should. Shift into Turbo. Then Elgar starts turning on the ball machine so the balls are flying while Carlos uses a Piranhatron as a meat shield. Justin jumps over, hitting Elgar away to turn off the ball machine. Elgar then leaves, but Flashhead is still there fighting TJ. The others then just stand and watch TJ fight for some reason before Flashhead runs away. They decide to chase him all the way to Japan. The Rangers flip in, kicking him back before they get fired at with his flash bulb. He then keeps firing more lasers, wrapping the Rangers together with film strips. He gets ready to turn them into film reels, but they get free at the last second, so he gets more Piranhatrons. Fire him with their auto blasters, hitting him back. Detox then gets pissed, calling for the torpedoes. They launch them, making Flashhead giant. Time for some rescue Zords. They form the Rescue Megazord. They start fighting Flashhead, who zooms around somehow. This dude has a lot of hidden powers, apparently. They call it the artillery power from their Zord Bay, firing at Flashhead, blowing him up into nothingness. How is there still 10 minutes left of this episode? Detox calls Porto over, demanding a new monster. Really? We're gonna do this again? Justin comes up to Ashley in the youth center and he apologizes for thinking weird stuff about her and Ashley asks for specifics and he says, "Forget it, it was too weird." This totally reads as Justin got his first boner to Ashley and now he feels weird about it. Carlos then demolishes anything that was left of his self-worth and asks this 12-year-old for math homework help, and Justin goes over. Cassie then asks Ashley if Justin suspects what's going on, and Ashley says that he saw the wires, and TJ says he knows too much. At school, Ashley and Justin are walking, and Justin has TJ's radio, which he's now fixed. He then sees TJ at his locker, also with an armful of wires. Justin walks over and he tries to talk to TJ, who is immediately strange. Ashley and Cassie then appear behind him, yelling, "Justin!" which leads to him screaming about how they're all robots, and he runs out of the school. On the space base, Detox is introduced to the new monster, the Voltmeister. He's like a circus ringleader who is apparently electric. Apparently. Detox asks what he can do and he shows off his electro whip. Justin runs into the youth center, opening the door really hard on Carlos, who is pissed. Justin says that if he feels pain, he must be a human. They walk out and Justin says that the others are robots, but Carlos doesn't believe him. Then their communicators go off and TJ calls, letting them know they need to meet them in the park. Justin says that they can't because it's a trap, but they decide to just go and stick together. Shift into Turbo. The Rangers show up fighting Piranhatrons and the Voltmeister, and Justin's really distracted. So he ends up going one-on-one with Voltmeister, and Justin is freaking out, yelling at Carlos. But then they all get blasted away, rolling down the longest hill in California. They all hit the bottom, unmorphing. Everyone seems fine, but then Carlos stands up and his face fell off, showing circuits and wires. This is creepy. He puts his face back on and the others stare at him. TJ tells Alpha to teleport them to the power chamber and they grab Justin arriving there. Justin tries to tell Alpha about what's going on and Alpha says, "What's wrong with being a robot?" Then another set of Ranger teams come in and Dimitri explains that these are the robot Rangers that are actually from Eltar and they were built by Alpha 5 and Zordon. Do they not have better things to do with their time? Then Justin yells about how there's a robot version of him, but actually it's the real version. The Justin we've been tracking this entire time was the real robot Justin all along. Fuck this Goosebumps twist bullshit. The real Justin reactivates the robot's memory chip and apparently this was a way to see if the robot Rangers could help them someday. They see the torpedoes have been launched so the real Turbo Rangers shift into Turbo. They call out their rescue Zords and Justin goes into humanoid mode, kicking him. The Voltmeister then starts using his whip, firing at Justin, but Justin gets free. He then calls for the rescue Megazord, which they form before they immediately get the artillery power out, firing at Voltmeister, blowing him up. On the space base, Elgar is using a video camera to make a home movie. I love Elgar. Divatox then laments how they wasted 2 monsters, and Elgar says it was almost like they had 2 sets of Rangers. The Robot Rangers now need to leave to go back to Eltar. This is so stupid. Wasn't there only like a very short period of time that you could actually go to Eltar? The Rangers then say goodbye to the robot selves and Justin talking about how cool it would be to hang out together and do stuff. And the TJ say, Justin's terrible, absolutely terrible. The Robot Rangers teleport out of Eltar and Justin and TJ do a low 5. The end. This episode's terrible. I hate the concept because this episode is like the lowest hanging fruit of children's television plots. There's something happening where everyone is different except for one person, and actually that one person was the same all along. It doesn't work for a show like Power Rangers, and while I commend them for doing something, I guess, different with the show, it's a pretty big failure. Especially since we never see the Robot Rangers again, not that I'm begging for them. However, people do use them to justify an episode that happens in the 20th anniversary episode for the franchise, so at least they were good for something. Next time we start a multi-parter that should at least be a bit better than this, but until then, may the power protect you.